Hey guys, it's Ben here from the Strength Factory, and today I'm in the gym with full-time enduro racer, pro mountain biker and pinner extraordinaire, Fergus Ryan.
What's up guys, how's it going? Looking forward to showing you guys what a normal gym session with the Strength Factory, what we get up to.
That's the plan. So I'm going to take you through and show you everything we do. With me, as you know, there's no secrets, okay? It's just about mastering those basics, okay? So we're going to hop on the rower now, get warmed up, and I'm going to talk you through what we're doing and why at every point of the session. So what we do now, got the body temperature up on the rower, we're just going to hit some mobility. Now we've got a pretty set routine that we go through, but whilst we go through this I'll be like chatting to the athletes, I'll be talking to Ferg about how his body's feeling. So if there's anything that needs a little more work, you know, we're not really time pressed, you know, we're lucky like that. So then we can do some additional movements or spend a bit longer working on any areas that are a bit tight from riding or crashing and training and stuff like that. So we're continuing the mobility work now with the classic pigeon stretch. So this is for the glutes and hips before moving into the frogger, and Ferg finds this one quite tight, so we'll spend a bit of time down here. And then this one is a classic. You just can't do this too much. Some people call it Spider-Man. I just call it a mountain climber with the rotation. We then work some deep squat because we're going to be squatting today, and you'll notice that Fergus's heels are elevated because we've got a constant battle with ankle mobility, so we just give him a bit of an extra hand while we do this deep squat work. We're then going to hit some of that ankle mobility here on a straight leg with some raises and a bit of a stretch, and then also on a bent leg, so we're targeting both parts of the lower leg and ankle. We're going to do a bit more movement now to continue the warm-up phase, and here we're just doing a lunge variation with a rotation. So while we do this, we're just focusing on really planting each leg on the floor, driving up powerfully, and trying to keep all the rotation and movement above the hips. Try and keep those hips and legs always pointing in a straight line. I'm now just going to demonstrate a curtsy squat, and we're going to work about 10 of these on each side, and this is all about really warming up your bum, getting those hips moving, because part of the session there's going to be some single leg work, but also this is a great way to get those glutes fired up, ready for some big squats that we've got coming up. We're now just going to hit some high rows on the straps. Think of this as postural work, and also just getting Fergus's shoulders ready for some hard work that's to come. And you can see here, this is one of my favourite warm-up exercises. So it's a hand release press up, so where we do a press up all the way onto the chest, then the hands release, and we do this sort of V shape overhead with the thumbs up, and it's really great for just getting the upper back, shoulders and posture warmed up. Then we're going to hit 10 reps of goblet squat with 20 kilos just to get the squat pattern warmed up. So skipping is one of Fergus's favourite things to do, and believe it or not, he's actually got a lot better at it. But we tend to incorporate skipping into the warm-up, like on most sessions. It's just a great way to get a little dose of plyometric work in at the start, get a bit of spring, get everything nice and stiff, basically ready for the session. And as you'll see in a minute, we're going to do a little bit of power work that's going to really assess where Fergus is at today, and that's going to help determine what we do in today's session. And the skipping is just a great way to prepare for that. So for the next part of the session then, before we go into the actual work sets, what I do with my top guys is I take a quick assessment of where they're at today using this bit of kit here. It's called a push band, and this measures the velocity of whatever it's attached to, and in this case it's going to be the broomstick. So in conjunction with the app, what I'm going to do now is measure how fast Fergus can jump, okay? And I compare that against previous sessions and his baseline testing, and then I know how he is today. If he's really fatigued because the weather's been great, he's been riding loads, then that's going to show with slower jump speeds, and then that's going to change the plan for the session for today. Any session plan is literally, it's a rough guide basically that we start with, and it usually changes 3 or 4 times before we get to the end of the session. So let's have a look now, see how Fergus is feeling today by jump testing it. Let's go. Big jump. Good. And again. Let's go harder. Happy days. So what I do now is I check out his scores.
Where we at?
Okay. And yeah, good news is that I can beast Fergus today because he's bang on where he was last week, and actually in general the trend has been going up in these as we've started to introduce more power training into his sessions, which is good. Okay, so we always start with some warm-up sets. We're going to work up some heavy back squat today. We're going to use our push band. That's going to help guide us for the weight that we use today, along with how Fergus is actually feeling, which is the most important thing. Good, we're just hitting some warm-up set now because we're going to superset the back squat with an incline dumbbell bench press and a chest-supported dumbbell row. This is called a chest-supported plate row, and this is really good for just developing the upper back strength, okay? And Fergus got a long running sort of nerve injury, which means that we have to really focus on these upper body pulling exercises to really strengthen those postural muscles on the bike. So what he's trying to do here, it looks like he's just hanging about, but he's literally trying to pull that plate through the bench. He's trying to rip it apart for 10 seconds. Come on, pull, Ferg. Come on. He's not shaking, he's not trying hard enough. Come on, Ferg. Happy days. So what we're going to hit now is the first heavy set on the back squat. So I've got the push band on the bar. That's going to tell me how fast Fergus is moving the bar, and then we're going to use that to set the correct weight for today's training session, so we're not guessing. Right, Ferg, let's do it. Good, step, step. Come on, right side. Right, hold, good. A bit more weight on the left. Good, good. Come on, hips over. One more, big one. Yes, first. Happy days. How'd that feel?
Oh, right, actually, yeah. That second one, it was more I came forward.
Okay, just a
and
little tip.
Yeah, it just came forward.
A bit light on the left.
Yeah, came forward, and I think then was
That's cool.
left ankle was not quite safe.
So, what I do now is I have a look at the average velocity across that set, 5 reps, and that's telling me, I mean, I could see it anyway, they were decent, solid reps, you look good, we know what Fergus can lift anyway, so that's just continuing to guide what my eye and what we know already tells us, so we're going to go a bit heavier on the next set. Up. Come on, press into bench. 2. 3, good. Get out there. 4. One more. Go on. Get it in. Come on, Ferg. Come on, create tension. Out the hole. Up. Good. Up. 2, good. Last one. Happy days. So yeah, that's that set there then. We did 3 reps, 110 kilos. And the velocity across the set is bang on where we want to be for maximal strength training. So that's where we're going to work now. We're going to do 2 more sets of 3 reps. Okay, so we're going to hit now a rear foot elevated split squat. There's lots of ways to set it up. You can use a bench, but I quite like putting a pad on a bar because it actually rolls, it feels a bit more natural. And we're just loading it with a single dumbbell on the opposite arm to the working leg, okay? And that's just going to load Fergus's hip a bit more, make it more funner for him. So we're just warming up first of all with a pretty light weight, just 5 reps on each side. Get the balance switched on. Good. And then we get some big weights going. Good. Drive up, drive up. Happy days. So we use the mat there just as a little marker on the floor to make sure he's always stood in the same position for every set. Otherwise you end up too far, too close, and the mat just gives us that constant. Come on. Drive out the ball. Come on, mate. Big one. Happy days. Okay, we're supersetting the rear foot elevator split squat with a chin up in like a diagonal neutral grip. So it's somewhere between neutral and chin. And we've made some really good progress on this recently. As I said earlier, Fergus has got a long-standing nerve injury. And the way we're working these is in cluster sets. So if we said, Ferg, do 10 in a row or 12 in a row, it's going to be quite tough for him, and then the quality is going to drop. So by doing a cluster, we do 6 reps, little rest, and another 6 reps, and then we get a good amount of work done. Come on, Fergus. Put it up. One for the Queen. Yes. Jesus. One for Greg Minnar. One for Aaron Gwynn. Oosh. One for the send. Oosh. Okay, so as I said before, we're always working on those postural muscles around the shoulder, which everyone should really work on more than they already do. But this is a really nice exercise. It uses the cable machine, which we've got like super light. We've got 2 kilos on it. And basically Fergus is making a Y shape and just trying to maintain that position, and it burns. It's minging. He's going to do 15 reps because I'm not very nice. And it looks easy. It doesn't look like much, but it's pretty minging, but really effective if you do it correctly, as you can see by that face. So this is called the Pallof Press, and this is one of my staple go-to core exercises. It's about resisting rotation. You can use a rubber band or a cable machine, and it's all about bracing, creating whole body tension, and don't let it twist you. So big squeeze. Okay, this is the third exercise that we're putting together then. So we've got the Y shape with the cable, Pallof press, and we're just doing a little back extension here, kind of modifying the GHD to use it as if it were a reverse hyper machine, but without any load. And I just think of this as kind of maintenance, really. It's just about looking after Fergus, and he likes it. It's, it feels good. And so if the athlete, well, sort of, if the athlete kind of buys into something, and when you do this, you do say you feel good.
That's good. I feel like straightens me out, and just gives me a good feeling. Like stretches everything out. Like when you're on the bike, I think you get locked into a posture real easy, and this just helps to straighten it all back out again, I think. Happy days.
And something like this after like a heavy squat is quite a nice way to take the compression out the lower back as well. So with these 3 exercises, we're basically just going to bang around all 3 of them, minimal rest, okay, keep Fergus working.
It's good I'm getting the rest now.
And then we're nice and time efficient, getting lots of work done. Right, let's get on YMCAs. Breathe. Right, all done. How you feeling, Ferg?
Yeah, good. That was a good session. Lots of lifting. Got the heavy stuff out of the way, and now sun shines. So I think we'll go for an afternoon spin out just to get the legs spinning and.
Happy days. So good solid session there. We achieved what we wanted to. We basically did plan A, which is always good. Yeah. And remember, Ferg does this for a living, so. And the non-glamorous, less fun part of being a pro athlete is now the hard work starts. Now it's recovery.
Yeah, that's the bit I don't like. It's Ben's always having a go at me, making sure I'm sitting on the couch getting that rest.
So
it's hard when it's sunny.
Exactly. So it's like things like being disciplined to have a recovery shake ready to go in the van, hydrating, resting, spinning the legs out this afternoon. and all those good things, so that next time he comes to train, he feels good, we can make progress, we can make gains, and dominate 2021.
Happy days.
Cheers, Ferg.
Yeah, cheers.